This video is for everyone who needs help with the TOEFL writing for an academic discussion task. The task simulates real-life online classroom discussion, where students are asked to engage in a thoughtful exchange based on a given scenario or question. A professor will post a brief introduction with a question, and two students will provide their thoughts in response. Your task is to write a response to the professor's question. Your response should directly address the prompt, be well organized and coherent, and add value to the discussion. You'll have 10 minutes to read the scenario and type your response. Your response should be at least 100 words. Let's go over some tips on how to approach this task effectively. Tip 1. When you are at the TOEFL exam, don't read the task instructions. The instructions remain the same for each test. Familiarize yourself with the instructions before the test. At the test, focus entirely on the prompts and writing your own response. Tip 2. First focus on the professor's passage and question. It defines the topic and the limits of the discussion. Tip 3. Read the professor's passage strategically. Skim the passage by paying special attention to the second half of sentences, because it's in the second half of sentences where the most critical and important details are located. Let's see how it works in practice. The first sentence introduces the topic of the passage, remote work, and debates about its long-term viability, in other words, its long-term effectiveness. The second sentence highlights key benefits of remote work with provides flexibility, reduces commuting time, and allows companies to tap into a global talent pool. These details show what advantages the professor wants us to notice. The second half of the third sentence delivers such critical information as decreased collaboration, isolation, and blurred work-life boundaries. This time, remote work drawbacks. To quickly summarize, the professor's passage discusses remote work, its benefits, and drawbacks. Tip 4. Focus on the professor's question. The professor's question is the core of the entire task. It tells you exactly what your response must accomplish. If you don't focus on it, your writing can easily become irrelevant or disconnected from the conversation, which will lower your score. For this assignment, you will need to say whether remote work is a good or bad long-term solution and discuss either its benefits or drawbacks. The academic discussion task requires you to participate in an ongoing conversation, not write in isolation. This means you need to understand what other students have said so you can respond in a way that adds value to the discussion. This brings us to tip 5. Skim other students' passages. Do not try to read every word. Other students' posts are short and predictable. Each post usually follows this pattern. Sentence 1, their opinion. Sentence 2 and 3, a reason or example. Since the structure is simple, a skim is enough to capture the idea. As we skim Janet's passage, we focus on not an ideal long-term solution, harm teamwork and innovation, struggle with staying motivated or maintaining a clear boundary between work and personal life, and lead to burnout. As we skim Brian's passage, we immediately see great idea and recognize his opinion. He supports remote work. Work from anywhere, save time and reduce stress, access a more diverse talent pool, no longer limited by geographic constraints is all we need to summarize the key concepts. Tip number 6, choose the position that is easier for you to write about, even if it's not your real opinion. TOEFL students are not evaluated on their beliefs. They're evaluated on how well they use English under pressure. Tip 7, stay focused. Each sentence should build logically on the one before it, and you should include only what is relevant. Here is a template for your response. Start with an opening statement to set the context for the response. You could say something like, remote work has become a common arrangement. Sentence 2, express your opinion. In my view, it is highly beneficial when done thoughtfully. Sentence 3, provide a supporting reason by referencing other students' posts. You could say something like, I absolutely agree with Brian's point that remote work offers great advantages. This way, you directly engage with a classmate. This shows the ability to participate in an academic discussion, which is exactly what the task measures. In sentences 4 and 5, give an example to strengthen the previous statement and tie it with your opinion. For example, remote work gives employees better control over their schedules. This can make employees happier and more satisfied with their work. Notice that the example connects directly to Brian's idea. That's an important scoring feature. Sentence 6, if need be, add one more sentence to further explain the example. studies have shown that individuals working remotely often report higher job satisfaction because of the flexibility it offers. Sentence 7. Address the argument made by the second student and use it as the basis for another supporting reason for your opinion. We could say something like, I recognize the validity of Janet's concerns about reduced collaboration and blurred work-life boundaries. However, these challenges can be easily avoided. This sentence shows the ability to balance opposing points of view. High-scoring responses acknowledge other students' viewpoints instead of ignoring them. Sentence 8, 9, and 10. Use the next 2 or 3 sentences to briefly explain your reasoning and possibly add a solution to the student's point that you disagree with. You could say something like, companies can implement regular virtual check-ins, schedule team-building activities, and set specific working hours. They can also use collaborative platforms that keep teams connected. With thoughtful planning, remote work can be both productive and sustainable for everyone involved. This is a concrete solution that directly addresses Janet's concerns about collaboration. TOEFL rewards responses that add ideas, not just repeat them. Tip 8. As you work on the task, monitor your time carefully. You will only have 10 minutes to complete the task, so you need a simple, reliable plan to complete it efficiently. First, spend 1 to 2 minutes scanning the professor's and students' responses. Choose the position that is easier for you to support, not necessarily the one you personally agree with. Spend the next 6 minutes writing your response. Don't linger on planning your response, just write, make additions and adjustments as you go. In the last 2 minutes, quickly review your response. Check for obvious grammar mistakes, repeated words, unclear sentences, or irrelevant details. Don't rewrite, just fix what stands out immediately. Finally, think of this task as a short academic comment, not an essay. You're joining a discussion, not writing a masterpiece. Focus on one strong idea. Clarity here matters more than complexity. Use clear, controlled sentences. This is not the time to experiment with complex grammar. For your review, here is the template of the TOEFL writing for an academic discussion response. For more templates, tips, strategies, and TOEFL practice, check out our TOEFL writing for an academic discussion course at udemy.com. Please see the link to the course in the description to this video. Leave your comments and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.